Greetings, my friend. Today's video is called a lot of things, actually. Is mindfulness in times of crisis, courtesy in times of crisis, social distancing should be period in times of crisis and not. In Europe, social distancing is normal. If you don't know a person, you don't approach that person up close. You give the person space. If you're at a doctor, you give the patient space one by one. If you're in a line, you give a person space. If you're at the cash register, you give a person space, period. When we've seen people going shopping, this is about observation. Make up your own mind to what I'm telling you right now. This is just me observation. The person in front has 52 rolls, and the lady that's not that fast, 82 years old, a little bit more brittle, not one roll. Nobody turns back, nobody shares. This is the state of affairs of where humans are. So the crisis is not the government and not what's being propagated, is what is actually what the basic human thinks of what's needed and not to be shared. I had friends that gave me toilet paper because I couldn't buy any toilet paper. So share. First and foremost, I say to you, share. Be mindful of your usage. By that I mean, how many sheets of toilet paper are really needed for what? Are you a germaphobe? Are you using regular soap, which will do the job? Or is everybody based on hand sanitizer, which kills all bacteria? Not the healthiest thing to do. Soap will do the job. I'll give you a few observations that I've made. And again, I am not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any ill. I'm giving you a point of observation and my opinion, and you do with that as you please. I kid you not. I went to a doctor and checked for old vaccines in my system. And lo and behold, after I think 40 or 42 years, we found an unresolved tetanus shot, irritating the wazoo out of my immune system. That made me think, I believe in an antidote, in my opinion. I don't believe in vaccines. Then, back when AIDS was found, it was all symptomatic, and then they said it came from a bat. Now, we have the same storyline with what's going on right now. Again, it's from a bat, and we have no retrovirus. The cause, we don't even understand what a virus is. Rudolf Steiner studied that, the guy who invented Waldorf schools. Very smart man. A virus is an excretion of a toxic cell. They're not the cause of anything. If anything, our pollution is the cause of everything. Another point of observation is, I've heard people being treated based on symptoms. Not one proof or shred of evidence has been delivered that from the blood work, definite there is a virus in the microscopic observation and a JPEG of that's it. Yeah, we have pictures and CGI and all this created stuff, but there's no proof. So if you have symptoms, that's no proof for actually anything. So I watched a movie called Vaxxed. I urge you to watch that. So then in another case, I don't know, 3 to 4 million people in America have nut or specifically peanut allergies. So a smart man, I'm ordering these books now to get the confirmation. It's just an opinion, okay? Follow your heart and what you trust and what is common sense. And then 3 to 4 million people that have peanut or nut allergy in specific, had vaccinations in them that were peanut oil based. Interesting pattern, interesting coinkydink. All the dolls, I repeat, that were injected with a vaccine that was nut oil or peanut oil based have developed peanut or nut allergy, period. What are we observing here? So it's not even about my opinion. What are we learning? I have friends that say my kids get no vaccinations. They are all on alternative medicine and herbs, not prayers and metaphysical, non-manifest stuff, like really physical stuff that does something. Hence, let's say a licorice root can be beating ulcers and acid reflux. So that's your remedy. Do you believe that, question to you, that a biodegradable remedy is better to process for your body than a synthesis of something where we don't know, that's synthetically copied and created in a lab to do something? I believe in an antidote. If a python has bit you, or like a poisonous spider, and you need it like right now, yes. But for no reason, a preventive measure that is based on water, oil, sometimes peanut oil, has additives such as mercury. You have to ask what's in the stuff that you're being injected with. Please ask. I also, which is fact, is know that they add aluminum to agitate your immune system so something happens. So you would react to something. And then I looked at the body, doesn't have anything to process aluminum, digest, store, or flush. So why would you have something injected into you that is aluminum, mercury, peanut oil based, including a virus, where you don't even know if it's the virus? So a virus injected into you to help you to defend yourself if it's coming back. Just observe. Is that what you want for your kids? I repeat, I had an unresolved tetanus shot that was irritating my immune system that I had flushed because the way it was based, the way it was chemically put together. So please, I urge you, investigate how are vaccines put together and what company produces and produced what vaccine and how much money in the end do they make. Then I have to say, look at all those lemmings who want to get tested based on symptoms, not having a viral proof, just an expert telling you, well, you got the virus. What actual factual is really happening? And then people that treat themselves with biological alternative medicine, they staying healthy, and I suggest keep your immune system and everything that brings your immune system up to par, taking, as in colloidal silver, galactivate as in ormus, all the mushroom, the medicinal mushrooms, and keep your immune system on a very good level and you'll be fine. My observation. Then since 1918 we have introduced radio waves. The Spanish flu outbreak, 1918, World War I, when radio waves were introduced worldwide for the first time. Is that a coincidence? Point of observation. Eva Curie, one of the inventors of, or finders of radio waves, died of radiation. Isn't that interesting? The Radium Girls, who painted phosphorus dials for people in the 1920s so you can have a lit display on your watch, died over radiation, and it was all denied. You know, people dying very young. Parts of the Everglades, people don't talk about it. Frogs would sing. Frogs would replicate in the 70s, 80s, cell towers being erected, putting up more cell towers, the frogs disappear. A lab has tested that frogs stop replicating if you increase the electromagnetic spectrum. I don't need to tell you which city was the first city in the world, amongst a few others, but amongst the first where 5G was tested. In China. And 3 months later, where did the so-called CV break out? Coincidence? When radar technology was introduced, pandemic. When microwaves were introduced, pandemic. When satellites were introduced, this correlates in a book called The Invisible Rainbow. Do your own research, don't believe anything that I'm saying. Is basically our technology is at a level where it is not health compatible, which is fact. Watch the movie Frequency. Do your own research. Like I said, don't believe anything. And then they say there are symptoms, just like with AIDS, and nobody has a shred of evidence that this original retro deal actually exists. So would you want to have mercury and aluminum and as in heavy metals injected in your body to agitate you in order to prevent you from being susceptible? Or does that having heavy metal in your body make you susceptible to a frequency that's in the sky? I say the more metal you have in your body, the more you get hit. The more your immune system is kind of screwed, the more you get hit. The weaker you are, the more you get hit. What is that? This is kind of a little bit like genocide. Does it sound like that? Or are we so obsessed with our inventions that we don't know the harm that we are doing in the long run? At some point, I think we will learn, but do your own investigation. Protect yourself from EMF. Be smart. Also, the news cannot be a network for you to get your information because you will be misinformed. If you have no information, you're uninformed. So I checked the CDC reports, which I highly recommend. You keep calm, there's no panic. And Lord and behold, and here's what gets me. TV stations report new outbreaks. And then I check the CDC worldwide statistic report, not any conspirator. And trust me, I believe in extraterrestrial life, in intelligence, other dimensional beings, and the paranormal, and I have my own experience. But there's also physical fact where you may not lose yourself. When I checked the worldwide statistics on the COVID-19 operation, and Lord and behold, we have 96, that was as of like 2 days ago, we read 96,000 recoveries and 300 reported deaths worldwide. How is it that that does not add up with what the news is telling you right now? So check original statistics and really read what's really going on. CDC reports. Don't panic. Shop in moderation. Continue the work, continue to run your stores, all your online store owners, our job continues, we deliver on time, we do not panic, nothing has changed as we work from home. For those who had other outlets and unfortunate businesses that now depend on merchandise or customers that can't show up because of here and there lockdown, my prayers go out to you. But you, just like I, have to rethink management of resources, savings, life structure, and business offline, online. What's more important? And what will be of help for you in that in moderation? And hopefully that gives you some clarification to what to observe. Again, if you're interested in really knowing what's going on, how the human race is basically polluting itself, looking in a direction where we don't really have a clue what's going on, it's all based on symptoms, and no shred of actually physical proof and data that you have something in hand that will say that is actually a virus causing that. My question is this, and they don't tell you this, when they say it's contagious and it needs time to incubate and you need to travel and as you travel, you transport it, and that's how the contagion works. Point of observation, what baffles me is that somebody in Wuhan gets sick, and the next day, almost instantaneous, somebody in the US has the same symptoms. The virus didn't travel. 5G traveled. So what is, you get sick because you get triggered by what's in the air, and not through a contagion that's airborne. I'm just saying, what if? Ask yourself the question, how is it that worldwide people instantaneously get sick without the viral activity having traveled physically, and then they say it's contagious? And then a company that supposedly develops a vaccine with that virus that maybe has a completely different name and a completely different design for where it comes from. Just feel into it, okay? I don't know anything. I'm just a mere idiot. I'm just observing. I was a TV VCR repair tech. I worked on rooftops and cell towers in the like early 90s. And when I was 20 years old, here's what happened to me. And this is my own observation that beats all conspiracy anybody can ever tell me. I'm on a rooftop, I see the microwave towers, and I see the big array, and I see the dishes, the ones that are also, that look like drums that I like protected. And I saw these dead birds on the roof. And I asked my boss, what are these dead birds all on the roof doing here? And he said, can you please walk behind the antenna array, as we were fixing that tower system. And I said, how come these birds are dead? He said, well, they're being cooked. I said, why is it nobody reports about it? He said, it's not really interesting. I said, we're sending that into the populace and nobody really cares. And my boss was like, yeah, that's just how it is. So I remember the dead birds on the rooftop that, you know, that come to rest at night and sit in front of the antenna array, and they'll die. They just drop dead. I'm not even talking about stranding dolphins, frogs that stop replicating, birds that fall out of the sky because they fly till they starve to death because the magnetic orientation is lost. The tale that I heard from the Hopi in the Andes, that where the humans put the electromagnetic black snakes, we can't talk to our ancestors anymore. Are we listening to what's going on, I wonder? When do we understand what's really happening to us? And to wrap it up, my mom let me watch TV when we had those tube TVs, which radiate more. Thank God for flat screen, at least. 2 hours was my maximum because I would get migraine attacks. And people would joke, yeah, your son is just sensitive. Like with electronics, I couldn't do very long. I'll get severe headaches, and I'll get very sick. To this day, like if I'm in a, let's say I was in New York in some restaurant and they had the neon open sign next to me, after 15 minutes trying to eat my food, I had a severe pain in my frontal lobe. And that's just how I feel. Some people maybe don't feel their bodies because we're partially under a spell, I think, as in asleep, are now forced to wake up into spirituality. And Rudolf Steiner has predicted that 1920, that the more electromagnetic wave frequency is being introduced to this planet, the more you have to develop your spiritual self to be more human on this planet. Otherwise, we're being derailed, we're being offset. And to turn it all off is not the solution, as we want the communication, we all make business with this, we all thrive. So I give you an idea of a solution that I would think that would work. If the cell towers would harmonize the EMF with an adaptive frequency modulated device that will create a 7.83 Hertz Schumann resonance while transmitting, while we are in service, as in repurposing that energy and making it natural, The side effect would be people would be actually healthy. Major cities will be healthier. There would be less hospital visits. You would have EMF compatible, because the problem with 5G and EMF is that it's basically not health compatible to the frequency of your body. It'll take some time before you realize that. They had in the movie Frequency 20 families living under high power 20,000 volts power arrays that were the support system for bigger systems and cities, and they all got sick, from cancer to leukemia to MS, everything. And when all those families moved, most of them got better. Some of them were so bad for living 20 years under that, they died. Is that a coincidence? Are people making this suffering up? Or is it something that we have to pay attention to in our mind and really be woke? Being woke meaning feeling that. How is it that when shamans are in their psychedelic state and they see electricity, they say there's black snakes coming from it and they're attacking people? You think this is all fantasy and made up because they're against the progress of the human race? Or you think there's a foundation, there's an aspect to that that actually wants to protect the human psyche? And this is why these things occur. This is why these things are happening. And I want you to do your own investigation, please, and make up your mind. So in times of crisis, I say, be mindful, be peaceful. Do not feed into the fear. This is a quantum shift into consciousness, has to be activated into wake up to what's actually going on right now. This is a reset, as in the lockdown, rethink, go back out, biohack your home, watch videos how to biohack your home. And to wrap it all up, for what concludes to me what's going on is when Dr. Kozyrev, the inventor of the Kozyrev mirror, in the 50s put a human body into a steel tube, as in a Faraday cage, as in completely shielding the human body from any electromagnetic or cosmic spectrum hitting the body. They healed, and their psyche tuned up to 400%, as in telepathy, objects, being influenced by their presence, electronics being affected, them hearing voices. You can build that at home with an aluminum tube or a steel tube. Anybody can do this. Not everybody knows this. I don't have 1 million views. That shows you what the level of consciousness is. But if some rich person buys a new poodle, we know about that. That has 90 million views. So that just shows you the level of consciousness and where contact is. And I think contact is possible, but that'll be another video. So do your own evaluation and your own investigation. Come to your own conclusions. Shop in moderation. Don't panic, so everybody has. You see, everybody would go and shop 2 units as in suggested. We all would have toilet paper, but we do not, because part of us is greedy. And they probably have 200 rolls of toilet paper sitting at home. That will not save them from EMF. And they have 500 tons of hand sanitizer, which will not make you less viral. And I don't see people sharing. Or somebody with a truck parking outside saying, you know what, if you miss anything, toilet paper, whatever, we got you. I was gifted a roll, thank God, because people can share. So be mindful, people, please share. Buy what you need, don't exaggerate. And give space for the others that are in need. And we will be fine, and shelves won't be empty. And social distancing should be for life. If I'm at the cash register and I'm punching in my key code for my card, why are you in my ear, standing here? I'm half German, so I'm Afro-European. And we learn, if I don't know you, I'll keep my distance. I speak in moderation. I'm not in your face, When I'm sick, I don't go to work. When I'm sick, I don't go shopping. You heal yourself. Please watch Dr. Thomas Cohen. Watch everything that guy talks about, last name Cowen. I find that very insightful. I did my own research and I found lots of things that made my mind clear. Is alternative medicine is on the rise. We have to learn again that what is your choice? Fear or mindfulness and what makes sense in life? And on that note, be safe. Have a boosted immune system, have a clear mind, and know what's going on in the world, and have the fire to do your own investigation so you know what's going on. Because praying to the angels is not what protects you. The ultimate protection in this day and age, in the ascension process, in the essential emergence, is awareness. Knowing that it is so. Physical change. Not magical thinking of things that never manifest. Things really physically taking place. Looking at yourself, your families, your surrounding environment, and how this is being handled. And like I said, please watch the CDC statistic and not the regular commercial newscast, because it's just utter BS what I'm seeing. You know, talking about, I don't know, 100K cases in New York like yesterday. And nobody reported anything. I know nurses in hospitals that I call and there's no overflow and craziness going on. Some people are scared. Some people want to be tested. Fear should not be your choice. Peace should be the choice. And working together in consciousness and in harmony and to what makes sense in clarity. Then we have a common denominator where we can all meet and this can all make sense. And in a month from now, planes will fly again. Vacations will take place as usual. And you'll be fine. And for the elderly people, take very good care of your immune system and find alternatives. If you have been with a doctor for 30 years and for 30 years you're having your back pain, I wonder if that's healing. I'm here, I want to see, is there a change in your blood work? Is there a change in your back pain? Are you getting better? Are you getting well physically? And not popping pills for 40 years, people that I spoke to, and there's no change. What you want to manifest in the body is the change for the better. So we all can expand on our human potential and live a vital, powerful, and balanced life. And that's what we light workers do, to hold the light for you to stay positive and not panic, and really look at rationally what's the real. And so, as they say, don't believe the hype. I most certainly will see you on the flip side. Be blessed and much love.